Welcome back to my channel. Here's what's going on. I admit that I've been in the worst slump that I think I've ever been in. I haven't finished or really read a book since October last year. So I've gone a good few months, half a year without actually finishing a book. I don't know why I've been in such a bad slump. It's just like every time I try and pick up a book and try and read it and try and get through it, there's just so much going on like in my head or so much going on around me. Like it's just like mindful chaos and I can't seem to like stop it or figure out a way to just put myself into like the book I'm trying to read. Like I've tried like making it more atmospheric, candles or certain like music and sounds in the background, but it just hasn't worked. Like I started reading Fourth Wing, I think I got to the 100-page mark. I was listening to the audiobook whilst reading and following along, and that was it was fine. It's just with bigger books like Fourth Wing, it's so intimidating to me and so scary to me because the books that I typically read are only they're never really more than 400 or 500 pages. So when I'm picking something up that has 700 pages in it and stuff like that, it's just very ugh. But anyway, here's my plan for trying to get out of this horrendous slump. This is the ACOTAR series. Very, very, very popular on Book Talk. So I will admit I do have a bit of FOMO surrounding this. I got this series back in December, haven't picked it up, don't know anything about it other than it's a fantasy and everybody loves it, and I feel like if I don't love it, I'm gonna be stricken down, but whatever. So what I'm gonna do is just try and get through the first book, Court of Thorns and Roses, and just try and really get into it. Do you know what I mean? I haven't really gotten into a series in a while. I feel like the only series that I've really been able to get into and really love is the Shatter Me series and the Caraval trilogy. I'm gonna give A Court of Thorns and Roses a go. If I don't like it, I don't like it. I probably won't continue with the rest of it if I don't like the first book. There's a lot riding on this beauty right here. My only fear with going into this series is that it will be a bit of a Cruel Prince situation. If you don't know, Cruel Prince was one of the first fantasies that I picked up besides Shatter Me, and I just for the life of me could not get into it because it's very detailed with the description and the world building and everything. So when I'm spending an entire page reading about the color of the grass, I'm not exactly into it. I very much look for the action and the straightforwardness in books. That's what I like. So yeah, I'm just kind of hoping that this isn't going to be that kind of situation and that it is going to be more action based. I mean, even if I don't enjoy the first book too much, I still might give the second book a go because I know that sometimes with first books in series, the action doesn't always kick in the most. I mean, with Shatter Me, I feel like everyone picked up the Shatter Me series hoping to see Aaron Warner in the first book, and then he was the villain and we were all like, what? And then as soon as I picked up Unravel Me, I was hooked. The first book didn't really get me, but then the second book got me. So maybe this will be a Shatter Me situation and this won't get me, but the second book will. But I'll never know till I try. So I'm gonna try, for the love of God, to get into this series, and I'm hoping that it will get me out of my slump. Fingers crossed. I managed to read one chapter of ACOTAR, and so far, you know what? So good. It's descriptive, but it's not overly descriptive. It's just the perfect amount. But I don't want to get my hopes up too much, but so far it's been good. It's good enough for me to want to keep reading. Right now she's just she's hunting and trying to gather food for the rest of the townsfolk and her family. She did a little bit of explanation on the whole fairy lore and stuff like that, but she didn't go too deep into it, which I think is great. So far it's not a Cruel Prince situation. It's kind of there's a good balance of everything, so I'm excited to see what happens next. Okay, so I've read 3 chapters of A Court of Thorns and Roses. While I said that it was going really well, it still kind of is, okay? Don't get me wrong, okay? Hold on, hear me out. But I'm starting to wonder if I had, like, the wrong idea on how to try and get out of a slump. I'm starting to feel like trying to indulge in, like, a series might not be the right idea. What I'm starting to think is maybe, like a palate cleanser would be like a good idea, like just like a cute little no brain power type of romance might just be what I need to, you know, cleanse my palate and then be able to get into something big and, you know, lurid and like this kind of series. So yeah, but what I'm gonna keep doing is I'm gonna keep reading this and try to get into it more, but if I can't, then I'm probably gonna try and pick up the Strawberry Patch Pancake House by Laurie Gilmore, which is the 4th installment of the Dream Harbor series, but I will keep you posted. The next day, I'm like 70 pages into ACOTAR. It's been going good. It's been going good, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been going good.
Tamlin just took Feyre from her cottage to, I can't remember the name of the... Is it Prithian?
Yeah,
Prithian. So now she's just kind of like settling down into her new life, living around like high fae, I think they are. They're some kind of like special fairies. I don't know. My goal for tonight is to like at least get to page 100. So
well done.
Thank you. Reading books gets so much easier once you get past the 100 mark, because they're so starting a book is intimidating, because you're like, you start reading it and you're like, damn, I've still got all of this left. Start tabbing. So there's a bug. Get it? Get it!
With what?
Your hand. I'm at the halfway mark for ACOTAR. It's going really good. Because I remember I filmed a segment and I was like, I'm not sure if it's for me, because I don't know, I thought that getting into a big slump was getting out of my big slump. I thought this might not be the right solution when I was only like a couple of chapters in. So I mentioned picking up Strawberry Patch Pancake House, but I don't think I'm going to do that, because now that I'm like halfway through it and obviously obsessed with it based on the fucking amount of tabs that I've put in it, I'm obviously just going to carry on with it. But yeah, it's going really well. I don't want to spoil anything because I want to save my review for like the end. Feyre got on my nerves a little bit. Like, I wanted to like throw her out the window. She was really annoying me. Like, Tamlin's like telling her to do like one thing. Like, it's the simplest task. Like, just stay in your room, don't come out till morning. And Feyre's just like, I'm not doing that. Do you have anything like actually useful to say? Because you've heard me like screaming and like ranting about it in the corner while I've been reading, or like in my bed while I've been
Sounds
reading.
like you're having a wank. Because you sat there, you like turned around and you just
I'm gonna keep reading. I'm getting through this series.
By the end of today.
Oh yeah, 4 books in one day.
Maybe just that book then. Start over there.
Did you fall?
No, I jumped.
I'm finishing this book, and I will keep you posted. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. This book has got me in an absolute chokehold. I don't even know like where to begin. I genuinely had like convinced myself that this entire series was going to be like a Cruel Prince situation for me, in like the way that Cruel Prince was just like really hard for me to follow because it's very like in-depth, it's very slow paced, action does not kick in until like very near the end. I just thought this was going to be that. Like, I didn't feel much with the characters in Cruel Prince either. That's not the situation here. Okay, let's get that straight. Like, all day I have just been trying to, you know, go about my day. Meanwhile, this book has been sat like on my bedside and I've just been like side-eyeing it constantly. Like, I want to read it, which is how I can tell that this series is definitely like gonna get me out of my slump. Like, this is going to just engulf me as a whole and I'm just gonna become obsessed with this, and then it's gonna become one of those things that I don't stop talking about, like Caraval or like Shatami, because I can just feel it, you know? Like, the chemistry between the characters is so tangible, and the description is like, it's there, but it's not too much. It's not like, there's a good balance between action and things going on and description within that as well. I guess it's kind of enemies to lovers, because Feyre like hated fairies, and I always say that with enemies to lovers, there should be no intimacy until at least page 200. So she passed the rule. Everything is there. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm living for it. Banner in this book as well. Like, it has me laughing out loud. Like, I'm telling you, I am being blown away by this book. And I can't wait to keep reading it. So... I just finished ACOTAR and I don't really know where to even begin with this book. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I kind of went into this with absolutely no hope for it whatsoever. I was like, I want to get out of my slump and I think that ACOTAR might do it, but if I'm being honest, I really did not. Like, I couldn't convince myself that it was actually gonna do it, but it did, because holy shit. It started off like it was okay, I was just getting into it, and you know, it was good. But I would constantly keep looking at it and constantly keep wanting to read it, which is when I started to clock like, okay, maybe this is doing it. Do you know what I mean? And it's just like, the more I've read, the more like I got sucked into this universe. Like, I just think that everything about it was just done perfectly. The world building was so great, the setting felt like tangible, and the chemistry was there between the characters, and it was just perfectly paced, and everything was like beautifully written. I genuinely have zero complaints for this book. I thought that maybe it was going to be overhyped and that I'd read it and not completely understand what everyone was like raving on about, but no, I can sit here and admit that I get the hype. I finished this while I was on the phone to Robin, and he was like, what would you rate it? What rating do you give it? And honestly, 5 stars, because to me a 5-star read is something that I can't find something to complain about. And with this book, I can't tell you a single thing wrong with it. Everything was there. It was amazing. I can't even put into words my experience with this book. It was just like otherworldly. It was great. This was yummy for me to read. I loved this. I'm very excited to see where the rest of this series takes me. I'm kind of hoping that one of the books is going to be about Nesta, Feyre's sister, because I feel like I heard someone talking about it in like a video I watched a while ago, but I do kind of want some more Nesta. And, you know, Rhysand was kind of tickling my fancy at the end there, so I do want to see more of him, hopefully. But yeah, I'm just so in love with this universe. It is great. I can't wait. And then I feel like, honestly, depending on how the rest of this series goes, I may even go as far as to read Throne of Glass after this, because a lot of people talk about Throne of Glass as well, but that is a way more intimidating series. You know, it's got some chunky books in there. All I can say is I'm so glad I picked this book up. I mean, it's great. I mean, come on, look at how much I tabbed. Do we see that? I mean, I was having full pages up here. I was running like out of tabs. This was just this whole thing. Like, I can't even like, what am I supposed, I feel like nothing I say can do this book justice. Do you know what I mean? It was just everything that I could have hoped for and more. With that being said, and with my book slump now being gone, I guess that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.